Oh my gosh, why is it so stuffy? Hello everyone, welcome to my book haul. Excuse the puffy eyes, I am suffering from pollen overdose. Spring is coming, and I am suffering. I'm allergic to grass, and nature is just out to get me. But welcome, it is your stuffy Casey here to bring you an amazing book haul. Book haul, what does that mean? It means I show you all the stuff I compulsively bought, and of course all the stuff I bought are books. Although I did buy this little mug. It has an owl, and instead of saying who, it says whom. It is me. But oh my gosh, I have so many books that I am excited to show you guys. Why? Because I've been reading the same books over and over and over again since like my early teens to today. I mean, it's just when you own the most perfect book in all of history, you don't need to read anything else, right? But yeah, let's get right to it, and I'll show you everything I have, and then I'll have some news at the end of this video. So get ready for awesomeness. And since I already showed it to you, let me show you something that's not really a new book for me, but something I really wanted. So my birthday just passed, and I decided to treat myself right and buy me newer copies of The Inheritance Cycle. You guys may know them as the Aragon books, ones with the pretty dragons on the cover. I'm rereading Eldest right now for like the 20th time. No regrets. It's just, I've owned these books for years. Not these. My old ones that are hiding under the bed now because I can't bear to look at them anymore. But they are literally bound together with tape and are falling apart because I read them too much. So I decided I'll just get some new ones. It'll make me feel happy. And also, while we're on the topic of Christopher Paolini, I bought his newest little tiny book, The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, which was also co-authored by his sister Angela Paolini. If you read the series, you know who Angela is. She's like the best. Yes, and it is apparently about what happens after the Aragon series, so I am not telling you anything about this book. I read all of these, but I am rereading all of those so I could read this and just have it all fresh in my mind. Do I care if I'm rereading it? No, it's a blast. I highly suggest if you guys love epic fantasy to pick up the Aragon books. It's called The Inheritance Cycle, but I call them the Aragon books because whenever I say, read The Inheritance Cycle, they're like, what? And I'm like, you know them as the Aragon books. And I'm like, oh yeah, they made a movie about that, right? We don't talk about that unfortunate incident. But yeah, continuing on books I've already read but have just bought, I'll go on with The Help. I saw the movie for the first time last year, never read the book before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the movie was really funny, so the book, of course, has to be better. And I was not disappointed. I love this book. My friend, wow, she let me borrow it, and I borrowed it twice from her. Such a good friend, Flo. Thank you. The Help, of course, ties in with the civil rights movement happening or not really happening in Jackson, Mississippi in 1962, where three ladies, Abilene, Minnie, and Skeeter, come together to make this amazing book exposing what all goes on in a domestic maid's life, the good and the bad. So they set out to collect a bunch of stories from the maids, but in a town like Jackson, no one wants to really challenge the status quo. So not only do they have to like sneak around all the people trying to press down the civil rights movement, they also have to convince all of the black maids to be courageous and to not be quiet anymore and help like contribute their stories to the book that they're making in the book. Okay, another book I've read before is The Maze Runner. I went out and bought the entire series just so I can talk about it because me and a friend of mine, Julie, hey Julie, we buddy read this together years ago. I think I was like 17. We were like into it in the beginning, but then we just didn't like it at all. This book, if you've not seen the movie, everything's being made into a movie. This book is about a boy named Thomas who wakes up in an elevator shaft that's going like up into some unknown destination. He has no memory, he just knows his name is Thomas. But when the elevator ride ends, he finds himself in a glade, basically a big circle in the heart of a labyrinth that is the only safe place in the labyrinth, and it's just entirely populated with boys who have no idea how they got there, what they're supposed to be doing there, or how to, more importantly, escape. So as Thomas tries to fit in with his new surroundings, trouble emerges in the form of a woman. Shocker. This new girl named Teresa shows up, and like she faints like right after she shows up, but she's carrying a note that says everything will change. This is the last tribute, and soon this one little safe space that they have in this massive labyrinth, the maze, will no longer be safe from all the monsters that are hiding in the maze. It's interesting. Like, cool, you're stuck in a maze, let's escape. But I just remember all the characters like being And I just remember hating Teresa in these books, which is really mean for me to say because she spent half the book in a coma. Like, you have to annoy me a lot to annoy me, even when you're just sleeping. But I am going to give the entire series another chance, so we'll see if I still hate her. Okay, my next book is one I have not read, although I sort of did, but not really. It is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Okay, just looking at the back of this thing, you cannot tell what it's about, but from what I heard people describe of it, this thing's like a really scary book. All the descriptions are pretty vague because I've heard that's like the best way to go into this book, but it's about like a man going back to his childhood home and he's remembering all the crazy stuff that happened. There's sort of like a demon witch living in his attic, I think. That's all I can really tell you because that's all I've ever heard of this book. But I remember going to my friend's house in Tallahassee, hey Emily, and her mom was reading this book and she said, Casey, you like to read. Do you like to read creepy things? I never really read a creepy thing before, but I guess I would like it. So she handed me this book and I have a bad habit of not looking at like the first page. I just open it like right in the middle and see what's happening. And the passage I read freaked me out. It wasn't even a passage, it was a sentence. And it was something like so creepily casual, like I'm paraphrasing. The boy walks past his staircase, looks up at the attic, and he wonders if the demon will try to eat him again tonight. Something like that. Okay, the next book I got, or should I say the next 4 books I got, is The Giver Quartet. Look at that. It looks like it's dipped in blood. I remember all the way back in middle school when we were given the choice of reading Hoot or The Giver. And you know Hoot, it has that cute little blue owl cover. It looks fun. And then like you had the picture of The Giver with like the old man with the beard that looked like Galileo. So my 6th grader stuff was like, ew, I don't want to read about Galileo, I want to read about an owl. So I chose Hoot instead of The Giver. But I've heard so many good things about it now, and I am ready to read The Giver finally. The back of the book tells me absolutely nothing about this, but from what I know, it's like the society inside of the Giververse does not feel emotions as we do now, and all of past humanity's hatred and kindness is given to one person in the society, and when that man is about to die, he passes it on to the next recipient of those emotions. And I believe the next recipient is a guy named Jonas, and as he's developing these new emotions, his eyes start to open to the world around him and how it's not right. The next book I bought is Divergent. I bought the whole series, Divergent, Allegiant, what's the last one? Okay, Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant. I've never read these. I am late to the party, my friend. I've never seen the movies either, although I do know that people hated Allegiant. You know, like in those days where you were a kid and you were at Walmart with your mom and your mom took forever, so you went to like the video game section or the book section. Well, I would go and I remember like reading like the first parts of Divergent, and I got as far as like her little test she does in the beginning to like see which faction she belongs in. I remember like she was confronted with this rabid dog and she had to choose between like a basket of cheese or a knife or just to pet the dog, stuff like that. Stuff I would have failed at sorta because I would have picked the knife up and she like chose the cheese, I think. But yeah, I remember that, and I remember the ceremony where she has to like put her blood on the symbols symbolizing what faction she wants to go into. The next book I got is something I really have no idea what it's about, but I heard so many good things about it, so I picked it up. And it's like an older book. I think it was made in like the 60s. Yeah. 1967. It is The Outsiders. What I can tell, it looks like a bunch of gang violence, but okay. I also got The Red Queen. Oh, this seems nice. I got this one and the second book because I feel like I'm going to like it already. And I know the other two, the last 2 in the series have already come out, but I'm waiting for them to come on like paperback because I can't have a series that is half paperback and half hardback. That would drive me nuts. But yeah, Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Aveyard is about a girl named Mare Barrow, which looks like marrow, which is kind of funny because a bunch of this book revolves around blood. So you got marrow and blood, very anatomical. But yeah, in this world, there is like 2 types of blood color, regular red and special silver. If you have silver blood, then you are like royalty, and you have these special powers, I think. And Mare Barrow just has regular red blood, and she's treated like dirt because of it. But she somehow develops superpowers. So when it's like revealed that she's a red blood, but she has these silver powers, the silver silver royalty is like, oh, we can't have that. So they like take her in and make her play the part of a lost silver princess and make her engaged to a prince, a silver prince. But will she fall in love with him? It sounds fun. I like royal shenanigans. But I am also super excited about this because my friend Flo, hey Flo, she hates these books. So I'm hoping that I'll love them and she'll hate them and I can bring her on here one day and we'll just have a heated debate and throw stuff at each other, pull each other's hair out, and it'll be views. And also presenting Shadow and Bone, the whole series, and Six of Crows, the whole duology. For what I can tell, these books are not like sequels, but they exist in the same universe. And Shadow and Bone, following the same sort of plot of Red Queen, a girl who thinks she's normal, but then discovers she has superpowers, and she's taken in by the Grisha, who are like the elite super soldiers of what is sort of like a Russia sort of place, if that's what I heard, like plenty of Russian folklore, I think. And let's see, what's this girl's name? Alina. Okay, Alina, the normal girl who has superpowers, is taken into the Grisha's care, where she is placed as like the apprentice of someone called the Darkling. Like no name, just the Darkling, which is like what I want my middle name to be. KC the Darkling. And this one is about 6 friends who take on this impossible heist. That's all I know about it. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know what they're trying to steal, but it sounds awesome and I love this cover. Look, how can you not love just a pretty crow? I was about to call it a raven, but that sounds like blasphemy. Okay, next. Following that trend of popular YA books / movies I have not seen is The Fifth Wave. The only thing I know about it is aliens have invaded the Earth and they attack in waves, like attacks. Like this first attack did this, the second attack did this. Hold on a second. Okay, so the first wave was called Lights Out. The second wave, Surf's Up. Third wave, Pestilence. Fourth wave, Silencer. Just aliens invade, that's all I know. I never read an alien book before. Not counting like Star Wars books I've read, which is like only 2. Okay, these next 3 books are gonna be super quick because I know like nothing about them. Renegades by Marissa Myers, who wrote the Lunar Chronicles. More on the Lunar Chronicles later. And look, doesn't that guy look like Starkiller from the Force Unleashed games when he turns evil? Like, it's the mask, and this is a beautiful cover. I love it. This has like a superhero sort of theme, and I'm for it. And next is Caraval, which, again, beautiful cover. Only thing I know about it is there's like this island that is sort of circus themed. If you go here, it's populated by jugglers. If you go here, oh, there's carousels. And if I lived in a place like this, I would live in like the lion tamers part of the circus, and then I could like control an army of lions, and they would look at my mane of hair, and they'd be like, you are our queen, even though you have a mane, which is technically only for boys, but you are our queen, and I'll have an army of lions and I could take over the whole world and you would not be able to defeat me. And then I bought the Shatter Me series. Bargain. Again, the only thing I know about it, this girl, she can like kill people with her touch. Nice. So yeah, this is a riveting dystopian world with an unforgettable heroine. I got these books, these next 2 books. I've already read them, and I hate them. Finding Audrey. This book is about a girl who has severe anxiety, so severe she wears sunglasses around the house and does not take them off except around her adorable little brother Felix, because, you know, a 3-year-old is not going to judge you. And eventually, her brother's friend, Linus, comes over to the house often, and they develop some sort of friendship that has no grounds, and they develop a romantic relationship that has no grounds, and yeah. This wasn't a good book. I like love wearing my sunglasses outside so no one can see my face. So I was expecting this to like resonate with my soul. It didn't. And the next is Unforgiven. I'm just gonna have to save this one for another day. Can I just say again how she does not struggle at all with her anxiety once she gets a boyfriend? Like that. Like, oh, nothing's wrong. Yay, love, kissy face. Disgusting. That's not how it works. You help with nothing. On a more pleasant topic, I got like the almost entire collection of John Green books. So a little while ago, I read The Fault in Our Stars for the first time, and that book wrecked my soul. It was amazing and beautiful. And as someone who had like cancer in their family, I'm like, yes, you nailed all the points. Yes. But all his other books, Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, and Turtles All the Way Down, which is like the strangest name I've ever read for a book. I want to read them. I'm going to. Turtles All the Way Down, just reading on the back of it does not sound exciting at all. Apparently it's just this person named Asa looking for a fugitive billionaire. Sort of like a crime hunt, I guess. It's not really informative. I think the one I'm looking forward to most is An Abundance of Catherines, because it sounds like this guy only dates girls named Catherine with a K, and that just reminds me of the importance of being earnest, and I'm like, y'all girls are stupid. They don't want to marry anyone unless they're your name is Ernest. Would you marry Ernest T. Bass? Yeah, John Green books don't really have the best, back descriptions, even The Fault in Our Stars. Look at that. How can I tell what kind of story this is just for a few sentences? Literally, too. Okay, next is an author I've never read before, but is, major excited to get into. It is Victoria Schwab's Vicious and A Conjuring of Magicians. Wait, I just got that whole wrong. A Darker Shade of Magic. The Shades of Magic series, including A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. All I know about these 3 books is that it involves magicians who are able to travel into parallel Londons. Like, there is a red London, and a black London, and a gray London. Do I know the differences between these Londons? I do not. But it just sounds like a fun ride. I read a bunch of the summaries for Victoria Schwab's books, and they just seem like my jam. Especially Vicious. It's about 2 very close friends who get together, do some sort of experiments, and then they somehow develop superpowers after a life and death experience. But then something, I do not know what, pulls these 2 apart and they become arch enemies. That's my heart, betrayal. I love it. Okay, I just have 3 left. Yay. I got Scythe and I got the sequel Thunderhead right over there. Let's see, what I know from Scythe is this is a world where people do not die on their own anymore. Selfish, I know. So to get people to die so there's not overpopulation, these people named Scythes go out and they kill people, but not meanly. They have their quotas they have to meet, a certain number of this race, this race, this race. And yeah, and apparently 2 kids are taken in to be apprentices to the Scythes, and we learn all about that jazz. Okay, and the last 2 books I got are The Darkest Minds, a book that I know people hated as a movie. A cataclysmic event happens that mutates these kids so that they develop some weird powers. Some have fire powers, some can get into your mind and wipe out your memories, some can telekinetically move things, and there's a bunch of others that I don't know because I haven't read the book. But I do know that the oranges, the powers are separated by colors. The orange powers are the ones that control your mind, and they are labeled the most dangerous, and they need to be killed on spot because, hey, I don't want anyone messing with my thoughts. And the girl, Ruby, who is our protagonist, she is an orange, and she is able to, manipulate people into thinking that she is, a lesser power. But that doesn't really save her because all of these mutated kids are in these camps where they cannot escape. But, prove them wrong. She does escape, and she goes on this weird journey with a bunch of other superpowered friends, and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna have to read it. But in the same vein, Alexandra Bracken, we have another book by her, a middle grade book called The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding. I'm excited to read this because this is my jam. It has a white fox on it. Awesome. I love albino things. They're just adorable. From what I can gather, this is about a family who for generations have employed a demon to do their bidding at the cost that they have to serve him in the afterlife. But things go awry, and the youngest of this family, Prosper Redding, I believe, the demon is betrayed by one of his family members and he takes his revenge on Prosper Redding. And zany antics ensue. And my gosh, that was a lot of books. But I am so happy I could show these to you. If you took anything away from this, read this. Well, read the first book first, then read this. But why did I buy all these books? Since I am on the late train. I don't even know if that's a term. Late train, but it's my turn now. Since I'm so late reading all the popular stuff, and no one probably wants to see a review on books that have been out for 10 years, I'm gonna do what is called a reader's reaction videos. RR for short, because I'm lazy when I'm writing titles in the little YouTube box. This is going to be purely me with a camera reading these books, reacting to what I am seeing in these pages. If you want to know how I feel about what's going on in Divergent or The Darkest Minds, be there. It'll be fun. If you have any suggestions for books I should read in the future so you can see how I respond to your favorite books, please tell me in the comments. But right now, I've already made some because I have read the Lunar Chronicles. I went to the library and I picked up Cinder, the first book in the Lunar Chronicles, Legend by Mary Lou, and also I picked up The Fault in Our Stars, which was amazing. I am so sad I didn't record me reading that for the first time because I would have been crying my eyes out. But yeah, these reader reactions videos, they are essentially me yelling at a book for being stupid or for being amazing. So the first one coming up is going to be on next Friday. It's going to be Cinder by Marissa Myers of the Lunar Chronicles. The entire series is going to come up. You're going to see all my thoughts and reactions, and you're going to see me cry. Spoiler. Thank you guys for sticking around this long, and I am major excited for you guys to see what's going to happen next Friday. These videos are so much fun to make, and I hope you're going to enjoy them. But bye everyone, and of course, keep turning pages, especially if it's Eldest, my favorite book. Why are you still here? Go read it now. Goodbye.